You are not you. You're me. No shit.
Hightailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Good morning. Good morning. So, let's see. This morning we have some things to talk about. I got a very busy weekend. We're still, figuring out the move and doing all that stuff. So, I actually don't have anything really planned to watch. I'm gonna watch stuff. I don't know what I have planned, but I did pull some titles because stuff we're going to talk about today. There's some new things I'm excited for, as always. We've got some first time to 4Ks, a bunch of those, and then one of these titles that I have here, we only got a DVD here in America, and the only Blu-ray that exists is a Japanese version. So either way, you'd have to import that. But we are getting something from Australia. So Umbrella Entertainment is knocking out some stuff, putting out some big chunky box sets and limited editions. So we're going to talk about all that. I'm super stoked about some of it, but as we dive in, I have been very vocal on my opinion on a lot of the modern cinema, and especially all these reboots and remakes. And there's finally one that I'm a little stoked for because the angle that they went with, and it's the Anaconda. So Anaconda, the '90s cult classic. I mean, maybe it's not a cult classic, maybe it's like a super favorite, but I don't hear anybody ever talking about it, and I like that film. I think it's fun. But as they're rebooting it, you have Jack Black, and I don't know who else was in it. I just saw the trailer a couple days ago, and it looks super fun because the whole point of that movie is, in the movie, they want to reboot Anaconda. And so then it becomes Anaconda because the snake that they had dies, and then they have to go find a snake, but then it turns out it's a giant anaconda that's hunting them. And so it's a different kind of twist or take on it. And I'm in. I don't know. I'm in. But those direct reboots, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's such a fun schlocky film. I just don't care. But either way, I'm a little excited. But yeah, so as we dive in, we got a lot of good stuff this morning. Let's see. Good morning, chat. Good morning. See, the very first thing here we're going to talk about is this Nightmare on Elm Street set. So it's getting released on Tuesday, and the reason I want to talk about that, let's see if I share the screen, if it messes up my internet. Let's see. All right. Okay, so this Nightmare on Elm Street, this big giant 4K box set that's coming out. Now, this sold out super fast, and the reason I want to talk about it is it gets released on Tuesday, and people are going to start getting their copies in. And in the past, stuff like this has kind of not been a super debacle, but sometimes they oversell and things don't happen, or people just don't get theirs on time. And I want to point that out because mine's scheduled to come on Tuesday, and then TJ texted me and said his is coming next Tuesday, and I know for a fact that he ordered his before me because he had pre-ordered it, and then I was still on the fence. I still did it that same day. But it's interesting because I've been told everybody's got a different opinion of why these things are delayed or what happens, and a lot of times it comes out as oh well, so many people ordered it and you were just towards the end of the list. Well, I mean, it looks like maybe I'm getting mine on Tuesday, so we're gonna see what happens with that. And because in the past, a lot of people get theirs, and it's weeks before I've gotten mine. But let's see. Good morning, Spartan BPA. Good morning. I had a huge memory unlocked moment with your guilty pleasure video the other day. I hadn't seen Yellowbeard since I was a kid. Totally forgot about that flick. Oh man, it's such a good one. Such a good one. Yeah, it's a high recommend. Olive Films is the only one that put that out on Blu-ray. So if you don't have it, you want to revisit it, I would track it down sooner than later, because who knows with Olive Films being out of business, and is it going to get another release down the road? It's not super crazy expensive. I think it's just normal price right now, but I would track it down sooner than later for sure. Lollipop, hi. I found you recently from your customizing Blu-ray covers and box set videos. I've been watching since. Nice, nice. We have very similar collecting minds and annoyances. Big bars on the top. Oh man, it's the worst. It's the worst. But welcome aboard. Because like it's funny too, because like with that video, normally people watch it and then they never watch again. So it's just like it's in the same realm. If you're making Blu-ray covers, I'm still talking about Blu-rays and DVDs and all that jazz. Still talking about movies. It's just funny to me, but welcome. Let's see. So yeah, that's something we're gonna keep a track. Not yeah, I guess keep an eye on, but looking forward to getting my copy at least. But then I guess in November, they're releasing another 500. So that one sold out super quick. And so if you didn't get the Nightmare on Elm Street set, more are coming, but it's also limited. And then they said like, maybe if that sells out super fast, maybe they'll do like another run. But like in the fact that these are supposed to be super limited, like when they keep printing more, it just kind of feels horrible. And so I totally get it, but I'm glad people are going to be able to get some. And if like these were numbered, I would be like, that's where I think I'd be frustrated. But I didn't buy it out of getting it super limited. I bought, well, I mean, partly it's a coolness factor, but I bought it because I wanted all of them. And that was the thing is like, we're going to talk about this today. Might as well talk about it now. So Umbrella is releasing, where's the Umbrella stuff? I know I saw this, Eureka Entertainment, Umbrella. Where's Umbrella? Let's see. Pavarotti, Ultraman. Eureka. Oh, here it is, right above Eureka. All right, so Umbrella is releasing a few things. So they're releasing this Tox box, and you're getting the Toxic Avenger. You're getting all these Toxic Avenger movies plus the new one. So Umbrella always does a million different options. So 5 movie pack in this Tox box. I only have the first one, and so that's the benefit of getting the big chunky box sets and these, the entire collection in there is because I don't own the other movies. And if I did pick this up, it would just be to get the other movies, and that's also the point of getting the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff is to get the other movies. I love that because I've always had, I guess I had a draw to the first movie. Usually the first movie is what you love. The sequels, they're hit or miss. Maybe you like some, maybe you don't like some. And everybody's got a different opinion on those. But generally, if a movie does so well and people love it, they continue on the franchise. But this movie here, I can't say it did so well, but I do like it. It's fun. It's fun enough. I'm interested in getting this Tox box. Umbrella announced it and is coming with even the new one. And so I haven't seen the new one. I haven't heard anything really about it. I guess people aren't really digging it, but I also feel that those are just your average moviegoers, not your fans of the Toxic Avenger, because I haven't heard the similar talking points of that wasn't in the original. So I don't know, but interested in this set. I can't guarantee I'm going to grab it, but definitely something I'm interested in for sure. But then as we're into Umbrella's announcements, they announced a few things, and most of it I'm not familiar with at all, except for this movie, Cashback. So this one came out pretty sure early 2000s. Was it from 2006 for real? I feel that it was earlier than that, but maybe not. But anyway, Cashback. We only got the DVD here in America, and Japan has a Blu-ray, and so you can import that, or you can import this new one. But this one is coming in a giant big collector box set, and as always, I'm pretty sure Umbrella's going to do a standard single edition like they do with all their other sets, so you can just get that if you want. But it also is coming with a big chunky box set, and I might jump on it. I was thinking about getting that Japanese set, but man, on the revisit, I revisited this probably 6 months ago, and it's fun. It's fun enough if you haven't seen it. the guy can't sleep. He decides to take a job in a supermarket, but then at some point, his boredom, he thinks he can stop time, and so in that, he undresses the worker or the shoppers, and then starts drawing them. And it's a I wouldn't say goofy movie, but it's a weird romantic comedy, I guess. But I enjoy this one, and I'll be trying to pick up that Umbrella set for sure. Let's see. Yeah, and out of all these other Umbrella sets, this is one I'd be interested in just because it's John Renault, but it's a movie I haven't seen. I know nothing about it. Michael Mueller, Ryoko. I don't want to. I don't know. I already butchered the name. But anyway, Wasabi. I'll watch it. Just I love the cover. John Renault. I'm in. That's a huge blind buy for me. No problem. Other than that, the Umbrella releases, nothing really stands out to me. Internal Affairs trilogy, maybe. And then this was this The Scarecrow. What is this movie? From 1982. Looks like one of the Carradines. I don't know. I'll check that out maybe. Haunting blend of gothic melodrama, psychological thriller, coming of age tale. Scarecrow is one of New Zealand's most acclaimed films. Oh, so maybe it's not one of the guys. Maybe it's a New Zealand guy. Yeah, I don't know. I have to watch the trailer and check it out. But I'm interested in Cashback, Wasabi, and this one, the Tox Box. Getting all those Toxic Avenger movies. I think I've only ever seen the first one. So, getting into those sequels, I'm interested. Let's see. What do we got? My Nightmare on Elm Street Steelbook set is still on track to be delivered on time on Tuesday. Right. And mine is too, but you never know. You never know. And the only reason I even bring it up is because earlier in the week when my, TJ texted me and said his was coming the following Tuesday. So it's very interesting. Always, because this stuff is never, I don't know. I don't know how Amazon works, but as people try to explain it, and people that work there, give me grief. I'm like, I don't know. I know what happens. Reality is some people get theirs, and I usually get mine super late. Oh, we got that. Let's see. What is this? Blue Corner. Welcome, brother. Internal Affairs is great. That's what Scorsese used as the inspiration for The Departed. Yes, and that is. I mean, at the time I wasn't like, oh yeah, it's the Scorsese, but that was probably why it was on my radar at some point, because that does sound very familiar now, or at least maybe not, the influencer, people just going, oh, it's a Internal Affairs ripoff. I think I've heard that. Let's see what else. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, but as far as the things that I'm super interested in, I've got this. I've mentioned before, I'm a huge Turtle fan, but as we talk about the Arrow December releases, how did my internet go? Yep, looks like it. All right, so as we talk about the the Arrow video releases, the Ninja Turtles box set, I've got both of them on pre-order to come in December. We got one I had shipped over to friend's house, and then I'll get it eventually. But then the other one, I'm able to, through Amazon, I'm able to switch the shipping at some point. So once we get settled and moved, I'll switch that. So I'll get one on time-ish, and then eventually I'll get the other one. Let's see, what do we got? But then, as it releases, I'm interested in this one here. City of Fire. We talked about it before. Yeah, I think my internet's getting slow again. All right, yeah, City of Fire looks like Chow Yun Fat. I'm interested in that. And that one, was it a trilogy or just one movie? Let's see, limited edition. Yeah, just one movie from 1987. So I'll definitely be interested in picking that one up. Again, I don't know if I need it day one, but clearly interested in that. And then this one here, Shawscope. I haven't got any of the other Shawscope stuff, but I do like the Shaw Brothers movies, and I constantly am finding myself enjoying what I do get to watch. So trying to track down all of these Shawscope sets. I know that first one's like crazy out of print and like really expensive. I might just start picking them up and trying to, if I get it, I get it. I don't, I don't. But it wouldn't be like one of those. I gotta try to track it down and pay, $1,000 for this thing. So maybe I'll just pick up the fourth one and just, start my collection from there. But yeah, the Shawscope. Like I said, I don't know anything that's in here, but Hex versus Witchcraft, I'm in. Uh, yeah, I'll watch any of that stuff. Let's see, what is it coming with? Let's see, overview. There we go. You get a nice big box or a book. Looks like I'm not sure if it's a hardcover book or one of those thicker front cover books, but yeah, I'm in. I have not experienced any of these Shawscope box sets before. And like I said, I just have a very small amount of Shawscope or Shaw Brothers titles in my collection to begin with. So yeah, that's something I feel like I should. I feel like I should pick it up. Let's see. What else was in here? I mean, there's like some goofy stuff. Here we go. Anaconda. So this is something that, and this is something that I would like to see more of. If they're going to reboot a movie or they're going to redo a movie or do one of these like 30-year sequels, give us the original on 4K if it's never been there, or a remaster or something. But as we talk about it, Anaconda, it's another one of these Steelbook onlys. I think the Steelbook looks fantastic, but I'm going to be skipping out on it unless they do another release. But from when I was looking this morning, all I could find was this. So I know overseas a lot of times they'll do both. They'll do a slipcover and a steelbook option, especially in the UK. I found a lot of that stuff. So I don't know if there's a standard or another release down the road. I would definitely pick it up. I do love Anaconda. I think it's super fun. I got the Blu-ray. I think the Blu-ray is fine. Could it use a restoration? Probably. And being a 90s film, I think it has the potential to look fantastic on 4K. But I'm just not going to pick up that steelbook. Still here. Yes. Good. Oh yeah, I thought I was freezing because it was taking forever to load the page. All right, let's see. Loving these steelbook library cases. I bought the Sean Connery. Yeah, I like the library cases. That's what I've said before. Especially if you're new here, I'm not getting a standard steelbook only. Like having the kid and like just they get damaged very easily, and it's just very unfortunate because sometimes when you buy those, you're spending a lot more money, but then it's for that artwork, and then once it's damaged, it's wrecked, and it's very frustrating. But in the library cases, if any of the steelbook comes in some kind of, big chunky box set, the library case with the steel on the outside, yeah, I'm in. And then if it fits into my top 5 favorite films, I'll always pick those up. But yeah, the library cases, I think those are dope. And if you're going to put out a big giant set, that's the way to go. Because what was it? I got the Indiana Jones ones, and they have this like crappy cardboard box set that holds the steel books together. It's just horrible. Love it. Hoping they come out with the Conjuring universe set now and the last movie being released. Yeah, that'd be cool. About the Shout City on Fire, and now I want the Arrow because of the art. It does happen, like that collector mentality. I have double dipped so many times just because the art or the packaging is better, and it doesn't change the film. Like in those, not always. I mean, obviously, if it had never been put out on 4K before, you're getting a new restoration, and so there's always that conversation. But if it's a 4K movie that's been put out on 4K, and then you're getting it for packaging and stuff, it's the collector mentality. I fall for that regularly. And Mark's movie menu. I got the City of Fire. So sorry I didn't wait for the Arrow video. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. You never know. And I have just changed my collecting mentality. There's definitely certain things that I have that FOMO for, and I have to have day one. Like Jackie Brown. I picked up Jackie Brown when they did the 4K release. It's my all-time favorite Tarantino film. But Kill Bill's I waited on those. Everyone was super excited, super stoked. They had to get them, and I waited. And not necessarily, I didn't have any inside information. I didn't know that Imprint was going to be putting out a big box set. And we're going to talk about that today because that box set is a monster. I think it was like 9.5 by something ridiculous. I don't know. I have to figure it out. And switch it because they have it measured in centimeters. I have to switch it to inches because I'm not that good. But yeah, it's a big giant monster box set. But it's the thing of, if you have your favorite studio that puts out stuff and just the waiting game of it. Like I definitely, there's very few things that I'm moving forward that I've been double dipping on. Because of that, and it was like, what was it? Crimson Peak was like the last big double dip, where I had to have the big chunky version that they put out, and yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, I'm telling you, waiting is a big thing. Same good release. It was a blind buy for me. I liked it. Excited for the Hard Boiled and Better Tomorrow trilogy. And you might want to wait if you're really digging the other versions, because I assume Hard Boiled is going to be put out by other people as well. Hopefully, an announcement of the Killer soon, something like that chunkier box set Shout did for Hard Boiled. Nice. Yeah, I don't double dip much, if all, anymore. But yeah, Hard Boiled and the Tomorrow series, more than likely doubling on those. Yeah. And I was like, the double dip is solid if you can turn around and recoup some of your money by selling off your other stuff or trading it in. Like that's what I do a lot of times. Like I have in the move and trying to figure that out. There's a lot of things where I have multiple copies of. And some of the things I've kept for certain reasons. Like it's just nice to be able to come up here, pick off a VHS tape, pop it in. Especially like I've said before, my wife's super into college football and she's got her favorite team and she's down there watching it. I could care less. I've never been a sports guy. I've never been into football. I don't care about any of that stuff. And so when she's watching football, I can pick up any one of my favorite movies because I have multiple copies of them and just pop it in the VHS. But as we move forward, as some of the stuff has come out, like I just recently got rid of, what was it? The Galaxy Quest. So I picked up, I had the VHS, but then I had the Blu-ray, and then I picked up that 4K, and then it was just sitting in a pile of stuff. Like, do I get rid of it? Do I not? And I was like, well, in the move, let's just get rid of some stuff. So yeah, the double dip and then recouping, and then I just traded in for some movies, and then the cool thing, and I got a video coming out because I was going to buy these movies. I was going to make another order and try to get it before we moved, and I ended up finding a lot of the movies that I had in my cart at the used bookstore, and it was because I was purging stuff and trading it in. Definitely going for Arrow when Killer comes out. Nice. Yeah, I love Arrow. Let's see. When does your Halloween pumpkin come, and will you be doing an unboxing for us of it? I wanted it so much, but it's so expensive. Now, here's the thing. When it's supposed to be shipped is in the middle of our move, and I didn't want any issues. So I had it sent to a friend. I had it sent to TJ, and it depends on when he gets it and then when he can get it to me. So I don't know if I'm going to be getting it on time, late, whatever, but I will be doing an unboxing and seeing it because it is kind of a nerve-wracking thing. It's got to get sent to him and then he's got to get it sent to me. And then, just the getting it to the one place without any damage and then having a second shipment, like, is it going to get damaged? It's one of those frustrating things that, not frustrating, but nerve-wracking things that it was literally because it's in the middle of the move. But yes, I will be getting it. It's supposed to come like the end of October, and we're gonna be like, I think everything's gonna be packed up because we have to leave here, I think the 7th of November. And so they're coming to get all of our stuff and it'll be gone like then by then. And then I think I'm keeping my camera so I can make videos and whatever in my computer with us. And then they're taking all the other stuff. And then I'm not going to get any of the other stuff till like the end of November, apparently, my wife said. Now that's like, depends on the movers and the company, but like the tentative date of us to get our stuff because like we leave here the 7th of November, and I don't think we get our stuff till, like she said, the 27th of November. Yeah, and so that's another thing. It's like I'll get it, maybe, you know, maybe I'll get it in that time period if he ships it out, and then doing the unboxing, but then actually being able to watch it and put it on the, I'm not going to be able to do any of that stuff at all. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, so this Anaconda set, yeah, I love the artwork on it, super stoked, but it's just not for me. I really do wish that they would do those standard plastic slip covers like that. I was like, you look at just the difference in these two, like the old DVDs, the artwork went all the way to the top. The Blu-ray has this dumb Blu-ray thing, you know, and you see it, it takes away from some of the artwork. But then if you're going to put a big ugly banner there too, I freaking hate that. So yeah, give me more artwork. I just wish that more of the cases would be like that. And there's a movie that's coming out with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. And if they make the movie poster that it looks like that's going to be your cover, I'm all in just on that, because it's more artwork than we've gotten in recent times, or artistic ability. You know, they're looking at each other. They got umbrellas. Like, it's a whole, instead of just slapping the people on the front cover. Well, that's kind of artworky. I don't have anything close by, but you know what I mean? Like when they have like, you know, 3 big heads, and then they got like, you know, the title, and then something. That's not artwork. That's just photoshopped, and it's no different than cutting pictures out of a magazine. It sucks. We got that. Let's see what else was here. This. So Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. It's a big set. So this was, let's see, what I tell TJ it was. It's 9.44 inches by 12.59 inches. So yeah, it's basically 9.5 by 12.5 inches. That's a monster set there. It's, you know, shelf space is going to be a thing. It's not going to be for everybody, but yeah, I like Kill Bills. I love Imprint. I'm going to be trying to grab these, and then when I saw this initially, I just assumed that it was like a perspective thing, that these were smaller because it was just the way that, you know, it fit in the picture, not the fact that this giant box set. Am I sharing this? Yeah. So this giant box set is going to be, you know, actually way bigger than the movies. You're getting a book with it, all these art cards, things I'm into. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't think there's anything new as far as like special features. I could be wrong on that because I did not read this. Because again, all this stuff is coming when I'm moving, so I'm gonna try to get it after the fact. But yeah, this is high on my list, something I'm gonna have to get. Maybe it'll be a nice Christmas gift for me. But yeah, it comes out in December. But also, you know, the money coming in, the money going out, like it's a big thing. The move, everything's expensive, and so I'm not sure when I'll be getting that, but I'd like to grab that. And then what do we got? Is there anything else? This, I've talked about this before. So Eureka Entertainment. First look at the new 2K restoration of The Island. Yeah, I'm in. Looks like some Hong Kong cinema, but zombies. Again, I could be wrong on this. That just was my memory of when we talked about this before. Let's see. Yeah, the Island from 1985. I love the artwork on it. It's going to be a huge blind buy for me. But yeah, that's something. I love that artwork. And I think if I didn't know any better about Vinegar Syndrome, I would be a sucker and buy all the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, because that artwork is usually way better than the movies themselves. But yeah, I'll be giving this one a whirl, because like I do like Hong Kong cinema, I like Asian cinema, I like all that stuff, but I'm not always into the martial arts. I mean, the martial arts stuff is always great, but I mean, I guess not always great. I'm sure you can find some stinkers, but in general, I like the drama stuff. I've never seen any of the horror stuff, so I'm gonna be. This is gonna be a purchase for me for sure. Again, with the move, I'm not sure when I'm getting it, but or when does it come? October. Yeah, it comes out in October. But yeah, that's high on my list of stuff I want to grab. And then what do we got? This one, interestingly enough, this is the one that was in my cart. It's a movie that I hadn't seen. It's a movie that I had high on my radar for a long time. I had wanted it. And it was in my cart, and then I was going to put in this other big order and try to get some stuff before we moved, and hopefully it's shipped on time, kind of thing. But then I found it at the thrift stores or the used bookstore or whatever, and I got it for cheap. I got the Blu-ray, and then as soon as I get the Blu-ray, the 4K gets announced, because this was just a few days ago, and so we're getting Savages, which I think is a high recommend. So because I just picked up the Blu-ray, I'm in no rush to upgrade. I do think the Blu-ray looked fantastic. And I thought this was a good enough film. I enjoyed it. Is it a top 100? Probably not, but fun nonetheless. I did enjoy the film a lot. But you are getting a new 4K restoration from the original negative, approved by Oliver Stone, which that's top notch. The Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film, the Atmos track, which that I think is more important to me than the Dolby Vision or the HDR. And you're getting commentaries, but nothing new there. But then on disc 3, you're getting new interviews with director and co-writer Oliver Stone, which is awesome. Interview with producer, interview with co-editor. So people that were involved in the film, new interviews. I'm interested. I will always watch that stuff. Big fan. It's just, I really do loathe the random film historian that's full of opinions that are just like, come on. Like, you don't need to explain that this film was shot in the 30s or the 60s and it was a different time before you start giving your opinions about the film or explaining it. Like, that I get frustrated by. But that stuff, yeah, I'm in. Let's see. We got, oh, it's Courtney. Hello, Courtney. Yeah, I'm here every Saturday talking about movies for sure. Ah, yes, the beard. Let's see. Adelpho Rivera. The shout does come with the Blu-ray and Arrow doesn't. Well, that's always something to think about. Very rarely do I go back to the Blu-ray with when I'm watching the 4K stuff, unless obviously that's where all the special features are, and then I have to pop in that Blu-ray. But very rarely. There has been a few times because, like I said, like I don't think. One, I think HDR and 4K and the Dolby Vision, I think that those can look fantastic and that type of stuff. But the thing is, they're not the way the film was recorded. And a lot of times, like when you look into how it works, it's done on the fly. It's done in real time, like your player does it. So if you have a better player or a crappier player, TV, the whole system kind of works together. But I think the whole entire point of that in the first place, because on my OLED, a lot of times the Dolby Vision, like they're super dark and like everything's super dark, not just the dark scenes. And I think it was to compensate for a lot of those budget TVs, the LCD TVs, and the things that were in existence before OLED. Because my old 1080p plasma TV gives me incredible picture, incredible blacks, and so does my OLED. And then the LCD TV that we had before the 4K, before this OLED, it was 4K. It was a Samsung, and I hated that picture. I hated it, and it didn't have Dolby Vision. I don't even think it had HDR, the TV itself, and so almost all the movies I complained about because it had like almost a gray wash over it. And then now I get that same kind of thing where it's like almost like a gray wash because the HDR and Dolby Vision, they amp all that stuff up. But I mean, there's going to be a million people that'll disagree and try to explain it. And I've done the research. It's a personal opinion. I've been watching a lot more of the HDR stuff. I think the Dolby Vision is just way too much on some films. It's been a minute. Yeah, I'm here every. I put out tons of videos. Let's see. My Elm Street steelbooks are expected in Tuesday. Nice. 80s. Did you grab the 4K of Night of the Living Dead 90? That ended up being a really nice release. No, because I think it was just a steelbook only, right? Let's see. Everyone says this too. Like, I mean, I don't disagree. Oh, what do you got? Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, Steelbook only. Was there another release? This is Steelbook. Steelbook. Germany has Steelbook. Let's see. Steelbook. Yeah, there's Steelbook only. Even all over the world, there's Steelbook onlys. So yeah, I skipped it. I mean, if they do release a standard version, I'll pick it up. But like I said, I'm just, I have too many of the steelbooks on the shelf that have been damaged. Things I've kept. I've gotten rid of a lot of my steelbook collection. That's just a standalone movie. I do put them in the plastic protective cases, like they're like, you know, it's basically like a plastic slipcover that the steelbook goes in to help protect it a little bit more. But I have an 8-year-old kid who loves movies and is rough on stuff. I was like, my Hocus Pocus steelbook, which I've kept because I think it's fantastic because it is the book from the movie. That thing is mangled, absolutely mangled, and I've gotten stuff shipped in that way so too. So I'm just like, I'm kind of out on that, but I do love the movie. I think the movie's fantastic as far as remakes and reboots go. I don't even know. Maybe I think I only had that on DVD at some point. And I think I got rid of the DVD in anticipation. Oh wait, what are we doing here? Let's see, that's not what I'm doing. What is this? All right. So in anticipation for it, I probably got rid of my DVD, and then it was announced as a steelbook only. So we got that. Let's see what else was. There was a few things here that I was definitely interested in. Oh, here we go. So I'm not interested in, but I know that this has a huge fan base, and so Umbrella Entertainment is doing a new 4K restoration of Memento. Here's a photo of the restoration process. Looking sharp for sure. But it's just one of those things. Most of the Christopher Nolan films are one and dones for me. I really did not like Memento. I watched it, and it might be because I was too young when it came out. What was it, 2000? I was like, 19, 18. And, you know, maybe if I watched it again now, I might enjoy it more. But I watched it several times over that weekend when I rented it back in the day. And I couldn't get into it. And it's not that I understand it. Like, that's the thing is, like, the Nolan bros come out of the woodwork and they're like, bro, you're just too dumb to understand it. And I'm like, I don't like it. It's one of those things. I get it, but I don't like it. It's not for me. I couldn't get into the film, but I know Nolan's got a huge fan base, and this movie specifically comes up a lot when people are talking about things that they want to come to 4K. So yeah, this is coming out, and I know a lot of people are going to be stoked about it, and good for you. I'm glad, and I hope a lot of people buy this film because it is keeping physical media alive. And I know Christopher Nolan is a huge fan of that as well. He talks about it all the time. So yeah, I was like, this one here coming out from Umbrella in early 2026. There's no price on this yet, but I'm sure there's going to be multiple versions of it. Your standard slipcover, and then maybe a bigger chunky box set. But it's all the information we have now that they are working on it. And from just the screenshot alone, the restoration looks amazing. We have, let's see, did I miss anything that I wanted to talk about? What was my thumbnail? I had that stuff. Let's see. We got that. Oh, yeah, here, and the Mask. Where's this going to take me? Oh, it's going to take me to Amazon. All right, so the Mask. I've got this pre-order. I'm super stoked. And this is another one. Like, I had a little FOMO. I feel it's going to sell out. People love the Mask. Like, it is an actual thing. So I did pre-order this one. And that's that. I mean, I'm still following the pre-order rule where I'm not pre-ordering everything, but this one did kind of fall in that FOMO thing. But I'm getting rid of my Blu-ray. The Blu-ray I have, I'm just getting rid of it. I'm going to expect it's going to be great from Arrow. And if it's not, that's kind of how we used to do things. I used to, as I would upgrade, I'd get rid of the older stuff. I'm buying this anyway, so unless I'm going to turn around and try to sell this, if there's like some issues with it, um, I'm gonna be without it anyway. So I'm getting rid of the Mask. I have it on VHS if I really need it. I'm keeping that, but yeah, I'm getting rid of that this weekend. But yeah, this is something I'm looking forward to it for sure. It's only $35. Yeah, I don't think that I think that's the solid fair price. I know people give Imprint a hard time for being overpriced a lot of the times. I do think, especially in this, I was like, was this coming with that standard with the chunky box set? Let's see, double check. Yeah, it's coming with a nice little box set there. Coming with some extras, some art cards. They are in black and white. A little booklet here, which is like a newspaper, I just like the details on it, and a little poster for sure. So yeah, $35, a nice little chunky box set. I think that's a solid price. Let's see. All right, let's see. 90 looked incredible. Great new features, nice packaging. I used the plastic protectors on all my steels as well. Yeah, I was like, it is one of those things. I like the film. I would be interested in it. I'm just kind of sticking to my guns. It's not really like a moral issue, but it's like you know, I I've just had too much heartache with damaged steel. But and the ones coming into the house, I've had just brand new. Like as I get excited for the film, the reason I spend a little bit more on the steelbook is that artwork, and then I open it up and there's dings and nicks because my mailman I think hates me. It really is one of those things. I don't know if you saw my review on the Imprint July releases. The box came crushed. Everything inside ended up being perfectly fine and safe, but the box came crushed, and it's just I think I get more damaged stuff than anybody else. That I mean, maybe not, but in my life, like living here in this place, I get more damaged stuff than I ever have my entire life. I can't wait for Memento. Not a fan of the box art. Yeah, I was like, that's one of those things. Like, if they're just putting the stuff up there, it might change down the way because like the cash back that they're doing, the big chunky box set. So the Blu-ray has this cover, but the big chunky box set has cans from the thing. So like it is different artwork. So the fact that they're not, they're doing the restoration now and it's not set in stone, you might get something awesome. At least I think they would, if they put any thought into it, they would at least do the notebook thing. Or the tattoos, like he had the tattoos on him, like tattoo that all over the outside of the book would be sharp. I think Memento is great. It's not just the most rewatchable movie for me due to the reveal. You can really only get that experience once. Oh yeah, you think it's not the most rewatchable? Yeah, and that's the thing is like once you get the reveal, like it's the same thing as that I See Dead People movie with Bruce Willis there. The Sixth Sense. It's the same thing. Like once you get the reveal, like it's a fantastic first watch, and it's the only right. M. Night Shyamalan did that one, right? That's the only one I like of his films. I'm pretty sure he did that one. I could be wrong. Trying to do this stuff off of memory always it's rough. Let's see. The sixth. Yeah, Shyamalan. Yeah. Shyamalan wrote it and directed it. It's the only Shyamalan film I love, and I really enjoy the film. It's just I don't have it because it is like once you know the reveal, like on the rewatch, it's not the same. Yeah, and I was like, I could see that too, but I did. I rewatched it multiple times that weekend because I rented it, and I was like, at first, I'm like, maybe it's just I don't get it because like when it ended, I'm like, but like I said, people like the film, and I'm not knocking it. It just wasn't for me. And that's the thing is like, there's films aren't made for everybody, but there's always a film for you, and I highly believe that. Pre-ordered the Mask last night. It's down to 35 currently. Yes, and that's usually about the price they end up going for when they sell anyway. But yeah, 35 bucks, solid go. And hello, Wild. Hello. Yeah, 35 for a chunky box is a solid price. Oh, for sure, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they're gonna price out those steel books at like 50 bucks, 55 bucks, and then you're able to get like a nice chunky box set from Arrow Video, like there is price gouging. Like, you can't even tell me that, oh, it's because the stuff costs. Yeah, sure. If one company can put out the stuff for 35 bucks, the other company, it's price gouging. See, Andrew, got my Night of the Living Dead in, but the case is damaged. See, that's the unfortunate thing. It's why I just, for me, and unless it's like one of my all-time favorites, top 5 films, I will get a standalone steelbook. But other than that, if it's a steelbook only, it's got to be coming in some kind of like chunky box set, the protective case, and even my Superman set, which, do I have it on display already? It might still be downstairs. Oh, it's up there. So it's way up there. But my Superman set that comes in the library case, the very first one, and it came in that nice protective case, like it has like a little tiny like pinhole ding on the back of it, and it's just like, I'm not getting rid of it, but it's one of those things. It's just frustrating. I was like, if you look at steelbooks wrong, they get broken. Waiting on a replacement since it's sold out everywhere. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with the replacement, brother, for sure. It is one of those frustrating things. I get it. I'm surprised the Mask is not selling like they thought it was going to. See, that was the thing, is I pre-ordered out of FOMO. And because that was my thought. My thought was too. It was just like Conan. Like, I was not going to be able to get this thing. Because it took a good solid 6 months. Like, the Conan set sold out. I missed out completely, and then I ended up getting one a little bit more than if I had found it at Arrow Video or Barnes and Noble. You know, I paid the original price. I think it was like $10 or $15 more. So it was still a scalper price, but it wasn't like the double price. Arthur, morning. I'm a bit late to the show. No problem, brother. And I'm moving to Colorado, so I think it's going to be a 2-hour difference. So it'll still be 10 o'clock for me, but it'll be 2-hour difference for everybody else. So if you're on the other side where it's 2 hours earlier, I apologize, but you could always watch it on the back end. Or we could discuss about changing the time. I like the morning coffee though, and I like the ritual of the once a week, like, let's get together kind of thing. So we'll have to talk about that. Just watched Corpse Bride. I like the movie, and the restoration is amazing. 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, I like that movie too. I need to pick up the Corpse Bride. It's like, do we have? I don't even know if we have that one for sure. My Tron original steelbook has just been dispatched. Nice. Very excited for that to come. Enjoy that. That's man, there's another one. If it wasn't steelbook only, and I might just import those UK ones once we get settled to Colorado. I might pick them up. And morning, Daniel. I pre-ordered the Mask and TMNT from Orbit. I try not to pre-order Arrow too often. Yeah, I try not to pre-order anything too often, but I have been lately. Like Turtles got me, the Mask got me, and it really was just that FOMO, and it was that memory of missing out on Conan, because then I eventually got the Blu-ray. I found the Blu-ray. I don't remember if it was off of eBay or if it was in the store, but it was the Blu-ray of Destroyer. But those chunky box set Conan sets, just, not that it caused me trauma, first world problems and me complaining, but it just kind of sucked. Like, it was something I was really looking forward to, and I literally went to get it like a few days after release, and it was just gone, man, completely gone. So yeah, it's like pre-ordering, especially like lately. Like, there's been so many times where the pre-orders were, I'd pre-order it and then it just wouldn't come in on time. And that's kind of the point of getting the pre-order, so you get it. And like waiting for it, just sucks. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. The box coming crushed gives me a little bit of turned stomach as soon as I see it sitting outside my front door. It does. It really does. Like I definitely, because like I got that box and it was the review copies. They sent them to me, so I didn't pay for it, but I still have to go. If they're all crushed inside, now I got to email them. I got to then still make a video, or maybe I don't make a video and we talk something out. I don't know how that would even happen. But then it's like, coming from Australia, it takes several weeks to get here in the first place. And then there were July releases. And then I didn't even get them till, was it August 25th is when I got them. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's one of those things. And then you're just like, crushed. It's frustrating. And then the thing that kills me now is the stuff that's coming crushed inside those bubble mailers. I hate them. They're frustrating, and they kind of suck. But then when you open it, the bubble mailer looks great. Everything's crushed inside. I got my Nightmare set coming Tuesday. Hopefully no issues. Oh, I hope so too. And the thing is, if you did get because recently they've changed. It seems like Warner Brothers is on top of like how Amazon's packaging this stuff. So if you did get that Superman library set box, because when I got my Batman one from Best Buy, but I'm pretty sure it came from Amazon anyway, because it was part of their Black Friday sale. That came to me just in the box the way it is, and the whole outside of it is banged up, and then they were all sold out, so I still have that. But then this Superman set came with a box inside a box, and then when you open that up, then inside the box was it was a nice little holder thing, and it was super protected. And so I'm 100% assuming that's how the Nightmare set's coming. I wish Sony and Disney would stop the Steelbook only madness or model. I don't understand why they say US only want to buy Steelbooks. And I'm telling you, I swear it's because if you remember being able to go to Best Buy, I don't know where you live, but I lived in upstate New York. I lived in Virginia. I lived in Rhode Island, and then back down to Virginia, being in the military and moving around all the time. And all the different Best Buys I was able to go to, and from 2016 till they stopped carrying movies, the Steelbook sections were almost always like covered in dust, $10, damaged on the shelf. Like nobody cared about Steelbooks. And then there was this huge surge of YouTubers that are super obsessed with Steelbooks, and they were like super loud, and they would run through the store and get, yell and get excited. And they became very popular for a very short amount of time. And like, I don't know if they still are. I'm not knocking them, but like, it's just like every day I was getting like their videos recommended. I never really watched them. And because I'm just not a Steelbook guy. And that's what it was. I think it was those videos and those guys just being super crazy about Steelbooks caused somebody in the market to go, hey, that's what they want. That's why these movies aren't selling, not the fact that you pushed everything to streaming, and that's the real reason that things weren't selling. But I honestly think that they were the loudest people in the room with the smallest minority of, because like every time I went to the Best Buy, man, covered in dust, $10. I'll say the second watch on both Memento and Sixth Sense are great. You notice, no, and I get that part, but like continually watching it, I don't know. You notice all the things you overlooked the first time after you see that. Love both movies though. Yeah, I like the Sixth Sense. I really do. I think it's fantastic. I just got no reason to rewatch it. I've seen it at least twice. Watching Memento in reverse on special edition DVD was interesting too, as it happens sequentially. Oh, that's interesting, because I think when I rented it back in the day, it was on VHS. So yeah, that's an interesting way to watch it. I love Signs, Sixth Sense, and The Village. The Village isn't bad. I like The Village. I don't know if I like this. If I like Signs, I'd have to revisit that one because I'm not really a big Alien guy. But The Village, I did enjoy that one. I thought that was fantastic. So I take it back. So there's like 2 M. Night Shyamalan movies I like. I really did not like that last one with what's his name there? Josh Hartnett, where he was the serial killer. I thought I would because I like those kind of movies, but I was angry at it. Like my wife was making fun of me. I was like one of those weirdos yelling at the TV. But the Village, I got to pick that one up because I'd like to revisit it for sure. Got my Night Steelbook in. It came in a bubble mailer, rattling around inside. Oh, that's rough. But not a single scratch, dent, or anything, thankfully enough. Nice, nice. I got something the other day, and it came from a used bookstore, oddly enough, from Denver, and that's where I'm going to be going to anyway. But it's an odd film, and it was hard to find. It was the only one I saw on eBay, and it came from this bookseller. And then on it, there's a sticker, and it says no refunds, no returns. And the whole thing, it came, and the disc was dislodged. The disc was dislodged, and it was scratching. Oh man, give me a second. Oh. And then there was like these little micro scratches all over it, and it doesn't always happen when I've gotten discs, loose discs in the mail, but that one, it was micro scratches all over it from that. And the movie still played, but it's a frustrating thing. And then, but the giant sticker on it says no refunds, no returns. It's just as simple. If you're shipping out used media, putting just like a little piece of a napkin or like the plastic bubble poppers thing for mailing, you just rip off a little piece of that and you put it on top of the disc and close it. It stops it from being dislodged. And I get buying a new one, you're never going to have that happen. But if anybody's selling used stuff, do that for sure. Would prefer a standard release, but since it was steelbook only, I caved on that release. There's some releases I would cave for. That one I didn't. So it'll just be 8 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, 2 hour difference, right? I'm pretty sure where I am going to be, it's going to be 2 hour difference. All right, moving to my state. Nice. I honestly like the Tron slips better than the steelbooks. Wish we would have only got those two. Yeah, I like those slip covers. I don't mind. I get it. I think the Tron artwork on the steelbooks were fantastic, but again, like I think my Blu-ray's fine. I don't own the second one. I like the revisit, and I'm totally waiting. I'm probably going to wait all together and see what they do when the third one comes out. If they're going to re-release these, if there's going to be some box set coming out, because from everything I understand, that third one's coming out soon. FOMO is getting me on the new Woo 4Ks. Nice. Yeah, FOMO gets everybody. Everybody's got their own thing. It's one of those. I did pre-order Zapped Blu-ray from Amazon. That movie was out of print for a long time. Yeah, Zapped is fantastic, and like I've said multiple times, like I'm glad I have my Olive Films, so I'm not gonna be double dipping on that. But if the 4K came out, I'd probably grab that. But I want this sequel. I want Zapped again because I think that's stuck on DVD. Steelbook only model would have worked 5 to 10 years ago, not today. People don't care about them like they used to. Yeah, about 5 to 10 years ago. Because I remember when I was like, I was always a collector, right? So I've always had that mentality. But the social media and connecting with the community and then watching people do YouTube videos about 5 to 10 years ago, that's when I noticed all those like, guys like running into the Best Buy going, oh my God, steelbooks. And like, it wasn't for me. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have an audience and I'm not knocking them at all, but like, they seemed like I like a nice, calm, relaxed kind of conversation. And that's what I like. And that they didn't seem to do that, but they would get tons of views and they would go and they got to get these steelbooks. And I'm like, and I remember at the time saying the same thing, like who buys those things? And the only times I ever even had steelbooks and I think I ended up like with 40 titles at one point with steelbooks. And it was the movies I was buying was like 99% of the time it was either it was on sale or it was the only option when I went to the store. And so it ended up being cheaper a lot of times than getting the regular standard Blu-ray. And that's how I ended up with that, decent collection of steelbooks. And then only a few of them, I started going, oh, the artwork on here is way better. And I like this. And it was like Rear Window got me. So I went to go get Rear Window when it came out on 4K. love that film. One of my favorite Hitchcock films. And the Steelbook, I picked that up, and I had them. I had them both in hand, and I hemmed and hawed too. I was like, "Do I need to spend an extra $10 to get this?" Because I was like, $10, that's more than that's half another movie, you know. And so I was just like, "Do I need to spend another $10 on this?" I remember hemming and hawing, and then that was it. And then from then, the Steelbooks I was picking up, it was because I thought the artwork was better. So I picked up the Jumanji one, and as it was the board game. It was cool. It was cool. I picked up the Hocus Pocus. Again, cool. But yeah, not anymore. Amazon is worse for shipping, trying to only buy from the little guys who are incredible with their packaging. Unfortunately, tend to be a little bit more in price. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I don't mind buying from the smaller guys and doing that, and you do spend a little bit more, but I think somebody that's going to care about your not just your package, but they care about movies too. It's kind of why they got into it. To me, it's a little bit worth it, but I totally get it. I tend to use Amazon a lot. It's easy, it's cheap, it's fast, and then I order a ton, and I've made a few videos, but I say out of the ton that I order, I do get damaged stuff, but it's, I mean, 1 out of every 20 gets it's not like super often, but it's more often than it should, I think. And especially lately. Like I think it was a combination before of Amazon and my mailman. And then we got a new mailman, and then it kind of slowed down, and then I got that imprint box all crushed up. I'm pretty sure that's the mailman. The Village needs something better than an old DVD. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't picked it up. I just haven't found it and didn't realize it was one of those DVD only things. Yeah, I might have to check it out because it's been a while since I saw that one again. And then Signs, I'll watch Signs again. I order only from Orbit, Groove, Barnes and Noble only. Yeah, I mean I order from all those guys too, but I still use Amazon. I know I'm horrible with that. In UK, I get my steelbooks from Zavvi or HMV or wherever I've had any damage. They replace it with no hassle. Yeah, and that was the thing is, and I talked about it last week too, and I don't have it with me, but I ordered a movie and it came damaged, and then I couldn't get the same replacement. It specifically said I couldn't get the same replacement. I had to get something else, and then I had to rebuy that movie, and then I had to get the replacement of a different movie. So I had to spend money I wasn't planning on spending, and then now this weekend I got a lot of stuff to do, and so this weekend I'm going to drop it off. But that's the thing is it's across town. It's out of my way. It's not. I mean, it's worth it because I have to return the item, but in reality, it's not worth it. Like I got nothing to do over there. Let's see, we got that. So then, yeah, I think that was pretty much it for those things. Let's see. I've talked about that. Cheech and Chong's last movie's coming out. I don't think there was that, but then what was my? Let's see. Just make sure we talk about everything I wanted to talk about today. Nightmare, Memento, Anaconda, Shaw Brothers. Oh, do. Let's see. Let's just go on Twitter because there was some stuff. There was something that was like soft announced that they were working on. Let's see. What do they have? Shawscope stuff. Let's see. One battle after another. Looks like a steelbook only. Got that. There Will Be Blood. That's a movie. It's a blind buy. It's something I've been aware of the film. I just somehow missed it. I don't know if it's one of those ones that came out while I was on deployment, but from like 2009 to 2016, there's a huge gap in my movie viewing. So I was just looking at some of the movies, and a lot of them come up in that time period because I was in the military. And so, and then when I got out of the military, even though I was still going every Tuesday, I was just going and mostly like getting movies that I hadn't seen since I was a kid and like getting those old nostalgia things and like, or, the newest, like the latest newest, but there was some things that I missed even in 2016. And so like, that's where I'm hitting it up. I'm hitting it up. And so I've been a lot lately. And so maybe this is one of those, but somehow or other, I missed this one. There Will Be Blood. It looks like it's coming out, coming soon on 4K UHD. Oh, am I sharing the screen? Let's share the screen. Let's see, share screen. Yeah, let's see. All right. So yeah, There Will Be Blood is coming out on 4K. So yeah, that's one I might want to check out. Spinal Tap 2. Yeah, I don't think I need Spinal Tap 2, but I mean, maybe. We talked about Anaconda. We talked about Turtles. I'm so stoked about these Turtle releases. And I call me an idiot, but I got both versions coming. And there's different artwork on all the discs for each version. Like I'm in. I'm stoked. They got my money. Let's see. Talked about this one, City of Fire. That's one I want to get. Let's see this. I guess there's another, and it doesn't say who or what. I don't know what this is. Looks like maybe another Warriors is coming out on 4K. But the Wasabi thing, like I said, Umbrella's putting out Wasabi. That's a movie that it'd be a huge blind buy, and I'm just gonna go all in and grab this chunky box set. It looks super fun. I like that. Tourist Trap. Yeah, here, this is the cashback I was talking about. So you can get the standard version, but then there is this bigger set, and so it has different artwork. Then it has different artwork on the slipcover and different artwork on the actual Blu-ray. So that's huge for me. I like the film. I like the film enough to grab it. So I think I would assume Memento is going to do something like that. I can't imagine that they're just going to stick with that standard, what they're showing up there. And the same thing with this Toxic Avenger 5 movie set. Big, huge set. Again, probably not for everybody, but it's there. What we got? And Pride and Prejudice. I might pick this one up. I do like Keira Knightley. I never saw this film either. So yeah, that one's one I might pick up. El Guinness Masterpiece Collection. That's high on my list. Something I'd like to get from Kino Lorber. Comes out November 25th. So yeah, that's high on my list for sure. And Leaving Las Vegas. That's one I would grab. I don't have this in the collection. It's been a long time since I've seen it too. Nicolas Cage, Elizabeth Shue. Fantastic film, I think. But yeah, that's one I have to get. Wild Style. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a me movie. And The Long Walk. I don't know what that is. This one here, yeah, the big, bold, beautiful journey. That movie with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. That artwork alone on the poster, like I think that's fantastic. Give that to me on the 4K or the Blu-ray. But then they're going to put a big, dumb, ugly banner and ruin the whole thing. Yeah, that. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about that big giant set. We talked about Pee-wee last week. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Mutilator 2. Pre-orders up, I guess. Yeah, I was like, again, I don't know if I like this or if I want to watch this movie, but the artwork on Fantastic Four, I think, is fantastic. And Downton Abbey. Now, that's something, I watch a lot of girly stuff and like things that are considered chick flicks, but Downton Abbey is something I missed. But I recently got the first 2 seasons and I watched the first episode. I think I'm hooked. I think it's like just a soap opera kind of thing, but I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's something I have not seen until now. But I watched the first episode. I grabbed the first 2 seasons. I found them at the used bookstore, and that's something I'm into. But I don't know if I need this giant, big Ultimate Collection, Legacy Collection, but it's huge, huge. And Flashdance. I need to pick up Flashdance. And this one, I think this is probably my most anticipated, other than Turtles and The Mask. This is probably my 3rd most anticipated release of the entire year. And The Curse of Frankenstein. It's supposed to come out October 14th, and the pre-orders are finally up now. So I'll be grabbing that because we'll still be here in the house. But yeah, Day of the Dead too. I like that artwork. That's it. That's pretty much all that I wanted to go over. What do we got? Let's see. Yeah, oh, I agree. $45 to $55 plus for a steelbook, I think is outrageous. See, I did collect steelbooks in the past, hit 639 of them before I said stop. Man, I was in like the 40s. I think I had like 45, and then I was like, this is too much. And they're always coming broken. Too many was for the artwork. Yeah, and that's the thing. The artwork gets me. Sometimes the artwork is absolutely beautiful, and like that's the thing is like there are people that will put in the comments like, "Oh, you just like the packaging and the cardboard. You don't even care about the movie." I mean, that's what sells you on the movie. If you were a kid in the 80s and you were able to go to a video rental store, you were bombarded with the posters and the artwork, and Drew Struzan pretty much drew my entire childhood. I've got one of his books over here. I've shown it multiple times, but there are so many Drew Struzan paintings that were turned into covers and movie posters and that type of stuff. And so that's how I was always introduced to film. And then in the 90s, it switched over to these like big giant heads and this like weird stuff. I got something right here. Yeah, like this. So you switched over to this. This is an artwork. This is like no different than cut it out of a magazine, slapping it on there and saying, go watch this movie. You're not watching this movie for these three actors. You are not watching this movie because the artwork sold you on it. Compare this to Drew Struzan's Indiana Jones or Goonies. Get the hell out of here. So that's where I'm at. And so the steelbook stuff moves more in that direction. And so there's tons and tons of beautiful artwork on the steelbook that would suck me in. Which studios and labels are your favorites this 2025 so far? Well, always Fanboy, Imprint. Imprint Films is probably my number one. Arrow Video. Criterion's up there, but I'm not a huge Criterion bro. Like I've got some Criterions, I like them, but it's whatever. I think they're definitely a step above. I think that the artwork is great. I think what we get in them is great. So I'm not knocking Criterion at all, but like the packaging is pretty simple. And I like that Imprint does the three different versions. They do their standard slip box set, then they do the chunky box set, and then they do these like big special editions like Neverending Story, Kill Bill, The Keep. They got these big Dune got a big giant thing. So they do this like it's mostly symmetrical, and they do this pattern where Criterion, they got the Scanava or I don't know. They got their standard Blu-ray plastic cases, and then they have these cardboard fold-outs, and like some of them nothing is on my shelf in a nice way. Like it's some stick out other than more than others. Some are bigger than others. There's no uniformity, and so that's why I think I would put Criterion probably third. I think that's like those are really my go-tos. I love Umbrella. I love Second Sight. I love those companies. But yeah, it's always Imprint, then Arrow, then Criterion. All the rest kind of follow in there. And I just don't have as many of the other movies because it's just somehow or other I picked them up another way, or I'm just not into those. But I also like Cinematograph. I like that company or that label. But then I don't have everything from them either. I'm not trying to collect all of them. I guess I'm not trying to collect all of them anyway, except for Olive Films, because they only had like 600 or so. So I am trying to collect all the Olive Films, but they're long out of business, and that's becoming a difficult task. Let's see. Forget steelbooks, bring back lenticular slips. Well, I think the Kill Bill stuff is lenticular. And the Imprint's been doing a lot more lenticular stuff. Not everything, but even Viavision, their parent company, they do a lot of the lenticular stuff too. Let's see, my Jumanji OG and Hocus Pocus Blu-ray steels are my favorite in my collection. Oh, for sure. Like I went hunting, and the thing, it's sad because it's crushed. It's mangled. I still have it on the shelf somewhere, but it's and holding it up close, like you can see how it's mangled. But the front of it, the very front of it, the Hocus Pocus looks sharp. But I went to like 3 or 4 Best Buys that day trying to find one. And then I finally, like, I was ready to give up, and it was just there. There was just one on like a side shelf, and it was just there. And so I was like, it was great because then also my wife, we had a newborn baby at the time. My wife's like, this is the last store. And I'm like, fine, fine. We drove all over Rhode Island, Massachusetts, looking for that Hocus Pocus steelbook. So it was a solid memory. I'll never get rid of it. Just I'm frustrated it's all mangled up. I work for the UPS as a call-in Amazon package deliverer. People are getting their packages locally a lot nicer than they used to. I can guarantee that. Well, that's solid. That is solid. Oh, like the mailman we had before this one, I would hear it because they would chuck them. They would chuck them on the, and you could hear it. It'd slide across because like our front porch is cement, so you would slide it across. You'd hear it. It was just like, but this one doesn't chuck them, but it's still coming in damaged. I wish HMV did US shipping. Love some of their editions. Oh yeah, they do have some nice solid editions for sure. There Will Be Blood is such a great film. Yeah, I've heard great things, and I've wanted to pick it up. It's just one of those things that just it's missed me. It's if going into the brick and mortar store, it was there on the shelf, I would pick it up. But it's something out of sight, out of mind. I kind of forget about it. Unless I put it in my Amazon wish list right now, I'm probably never going to pick it up. But now that the 4K is coming out, it's going to be a day one or early. It's going to be on my brain. One battle after another steelbook was sold out the same day it was available for pre-order. Yeah, those are starting to get weird. Like the selling out the same day, things that didn't used to sell out, or just some odd things. Like I totally expect Nightmare on Elm Street to sell out. I totally expected that. I totally expect some other titles to sell out super fast, but other things, it's just why did that one sell out that fast? Why do old DVDs look better than streaming to me? Well, it all depends on your system and your setup, but and also my internet. My internet's horrible, and so if I try to stream anything, a lot of times it's buffering. It's not giving me the full, quality there. And so yeah, popping in a physical disc, you got no compression, and there's some really not great looking DVDs, and if you pop them in on a nice 4K TV, you're going to see it. You're going to notice it. But to me, it looks like watching cable TV back in the day, where when you popped in a Blu-ray, it looked great, but you watched cable, it wasn't as great as your Blu-ray kind of thing. But then there's some good DVDs. I'm not saying they're all amazing, but I just rewatched my entire Nightmare on Elm Street box set, the DVDs that are right up there. Those DVDs were remastered back then, and they look great. Now, granted, I can tell like they're DVDs, but they look better than some of the other DVDs I got on the shelf. So it also depends on that too. And I mean, I'm not saying it looks as good as a Blu-ray, but watching it on my 4K OLED that does a little up converting of a lower signal with these remastered DVDs looks amazing. If I watch those DVDs in here on the old CRT or even that 1080p TV, they look good. So yeah, it depends on a few factors, but it depends. Hot take: There Will Be Blood is my example of I always give will be my example I always give of a movie everyone likes that I don't. I gotta watch it. I mean, I've got a ton of those, like Donnie Darko. I get crap for that one too. I don't like it. I've tried, and that's another one that people are like, you just don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't even know if I understand it at all, but I don't like it. Like, and there's movies like that. There's tons, and there's like a huge, like sometimes I question, is it like the actual general consensus, or is it the I don't want to be wrong kind of thing? And so I've met both. I've met both, where people like truly like super fanboy of a certain film, and they can explain it and go into detail, like, super fans. And then I've found people that are like, "Oh, you don't like Donnie Darko?" And then they try to like hit me up with, you got to watch it like 10 times and then you'll get it." And I'm like, "Nah, it's not for me, not for me." But yeah, I'll check out. That's, and I think that might have been the thing, is why I might have missed it. Like, either like I might have saw the trailer and been like, "That's not for me." But I just know that I missed it. I know that I wanted to see it. I know a lot of people love it. It gets recommended a lot, and it's just something I missed. Let's see. Did you see Rocky Horror Picture Show Steelbook coming? So excited for that. Pre-ordered straight away. No, well, I think we talked about it. I think we talked about it. I like Rocky Horror enough to have my Blu-ray. I don't need to upgrade. I think it's fun enough, but also at the same time, it's one that doesn't get rewatched a ton in the house. But it's a fun film for sure. I like Tim Curry. I still have my day one Blu-ray of the studio release of There Will Be Blood. Haven't seen it in years, but I remember it being good. you you remember that it was a day one purchase, but yeah, that's, I mean, I probably have a couple of those too. That's funny though. We still never upgraded from our Panasonic 46-inch plasma TV OLEDs. Just don't look as good to us. Now, I don't, to a point, I don't disagree. I love my OLED. I've got the Sony OLED, and I had to calibrate it. I had to fine tune it. I have the 50-inch Panasonic plasma, and we have that in our bedroom, and that looks amazing, and it looked amazing out of the box. I didn't have to do much of calibrating. Like, it was just beautiful. Beautiful blacks, beautiful picture. And then no matter what you put into it, like Blu-rays, DVDs look great, but then our 65-inch Samsung lit on fire, and then it took me an entire year to make my decision on the upgrade, the 4K upgrade, and finally settling on the Sony OLED. But I had that 50-inch downstairs, and so I still had to watch the 4K movies. And at that time period, I wasn't doing reviews because I didn't have a 4K display, but I had the 4K player plugged into it. Now, granted, I was only getting a 1080p picture at most, but those 4Ks looked amazing on that plasma. Yeah, it was way better than what we had with that Samsung LCD. Let's see. We watch a lot of sports as well. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of sports. My wife does. That might make more sense too. My biggest issue with 4K Blu-rays is that the discs are just so unreliable. I think that they were. I have not had an issue with any this year. But there was a long time where I'd have to, like, certain discs wouldn't read well in one of my players. Like, the bigger the disc, it wouldn't read well. Then they did an update. It kind of read a little bit better. But then a lot of times the off gassing, the crappy oil that was coming from the plastic, the residue would get on the disc, and even though you couldn't really see it, the disc would skip and stutter and whatever, and I would just wash it off, and then I had no problem. But I honestly have not had that issue all year long, and that's buying studio releases and the boutique labels and that type of stuff. Let's see. The single 4K I kept was Terminator. I do like that one. Oh, I just went to see the new Downton Abbey movie yesterday. Loved it. The whole series. It's so nice. Yeah, I like that type of stuff. I'm in. I was like, I know it's not for everybody, but I love period pieces. I love that. I love the whole idea. I love the whole bigger backstory that there's an actual family that owns that house still, that estate still, and then they had to figure out a way to pay for it. It costs like $1 million a year to run that place, and just to keep it alive. And so they've had to do all kinds of things, whether it like be growing cattle and having hunters come in, wealthy hunters. They did a whole lot of things on top of the, allowing the TV show to film there to keep that place afloat. But imagine being like just a small family that just owns that. Wow. Yeah, I like it. I like history. In my opinion, mini LED is the wave of the future. Just TV's just hoping that the 115-inch screen will be affordable before I die. Mini LEDs, I don't know. I didn't really get into them. They were just coming out when I decided on the OLED, so I picked that up. I've enjoyed it for the past 2 years, and then you know, and when that one goes, or I need to upgrade or something, there's like something crazy coming out. So I know they're talking about Dolby Vision 2 and like that. You're going to need to upgrade your TV. You're going to need to upgrade your stuff. And if I wasn't doing these videos and talking to you guys and having all that, I wouldn't have that need. I would be perfectly happy with my setup. But because I make the videos and like to be able to justifiably, give you a review on a movie and be like this, and this, I'm not going to be able to if I don't have the equipment. So I'll be looking into that at some point. It's not 100% like a day one thing, but yeah, I'll be looking at upgrading. So maybe I'll look into those mini LEDs as well. I haven't seen a mini LED TV. I've seen Samsung Crystal LEDs, which are decent for the price. QD OLED and OLED. Yeah, there was the Samsung ones, but after the Samsung we had was on fire, I was just looking at the Sonys. Screen uniformity still has a big issue with OLEDs. I could see that. I see what you're talking about. Plasma still beat any newer TVs I've seen. My sister uses a 60-inch Pioneer. No, I'm not saying it doesn't, brother. I have my fit. I think it looks fantastic. I do like my OLED, and I have to watch 4Ks on it. Like I can't justifiably watch the 4K on the Plasma and then be able to give you a full review. I mean, I'm sure I could, but like I think they're a little dishonest. So I have a 4K display for that purpose, but I still use my Plasma. I think it's fantastic. I really do. 14.1FD. Lionsgate Limited seems to be doing more lenticular covers. Oh yeah, but they're still doing all those steelbook stuff, and I'm like, I just can't do the steelbooks. One company I won't buy from anymore is Sony. Overpriced. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They've always been expensive. Always been expensive. Let's see. Discs look better because the bit rate is higher than the equivalent streaming. Oh yeah, for sure. Sony is way overpriced, but oh my god, those transfers are gorgeous. Yeah, I did. Donnie Darko's not for me. And the fact that like so many people are like, "Oh, bro, you gotta watch it like 10 times before you like." I don't know. It's not for me. Sit the brick. What's up, brother? Late to the chat after a move planning call to my son. Looks like everyone is here. Yeah, we are here, brother. I'm not upgrading for Dolby Vision 2. Why don't they just use one standard for everything? Dolby Vision is fine, or use HDR 10 plus. I'm not disagreeing there. Like I said, I'm probably going to upgrade just so I can talk about it. I don't think I can feasibly talk about a movie if it has the Dolby Vision 2 and I don't have the equipment for it. That's just my own thing. But like I said, if I wasn't making these videos, I'd probably keep that OLED till it died. And I'm not getting rid of the OLED. I would just move it to a different room. It's like how you had to upgrade your audio system for DTS. Dolby was fine if it was mastered well. Yeah, and I was like, and then the thing about Atmos, like everyone was like all about Atmos, and it's good. It's good when it's good, but there are definitely several Atmos films that don't utilize it very well, and it's just kind of, I guess the best way to say it is sucky, and so it's just like that. But that also depends on the master. There's been so many times where I've heard stuff in the old Dolby or Dolby system and the DTS and the older stuff, the old 5.1 stuff, and then I'm watching it for the first time on my setup, and you can barely hear the stuff coming out of the center channel, like, and everything else is just super amped up. And there's modes on my system that I can change that and adjust that, but then I have to remember which movie that does it on. It's just easier to turn the surround sound off in some of those movies. Love my OLED. I think next year's TVs will start getting Dolby Vision 2 and 240 frames per second. I mean, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I know the Dolby Vision 2 is going to be a thing, so yeah. You know how many olive films you have? I have 8. I've never counted, but I have I have a good section. So each section holds about 20-ish movies, and I have 3 solid sections. So roughly about between 50 and 60 movies easily on the olive films. I've been doing well, and then I have this box I have yet to open. I'm saving it, because it's a big giant box. There's like over 50 movies in it, and a lot of them are olive films, and so that I'm going to add that to the collection. But I don't think the CLZ app will let me just do studio. Maybe that'll tell me. Let's see. Search. Let's see. Studio. If there's an option to pick just studio, I'm not seeing it. Let's see. I don't know. But yeah, I have quite a bit. And the thing is, like, I'm trying to collect all of them, but there's some hidden gems and there's some classics. There's some movies that I'm just not like super into, and so I haven't bought them yet. So it's just that. But I'm like, the idea that there's only about 600 total, and to have them all, I just think that's, as a collector goes, it's kind of impressive. And so I want to get them all. But out of the 50 or 60 I have, there's probably like a solid 8 or 10 that I constantly rewatch and constantly go to. Mannequin and Yellowbeard being 2 of them. Right now I have a Roku 4K, but it's not going to make the move. Not sure what I'm going to replace with upgrade. Well, good luck with that. Let's see. I know, like, that for me, it took me an entire year to figure out what TV I wanted. Let's see. I just had the famous skip stutter issue with the 60th Sound of Music. Took me 4 or 5 cleanings to get rid of it. Yeah, that off-gassing is horrible, and you really can't see it. But that's been like 9 times out of 10, like, that's been the actual issue, is like the cleaning it, and then it works. CLZ will let you add studio. Okay, I'll do that. I'll go through that next time and make it easier. Under edit, and then edition, then distributor. Okay, so I'd have to do each one, wouldn't I? Got it. Or when I scan them in next time. But yeah, that's it, guys. I think I got the rest of the day planned out with the family. Again, worrying about the move, figuring some stuff out. Last minute stuff. My wife's going sometime this next week. She's going to Florida for school for a couple weeks before so all that move stuff's going to be. So this is the last weekend we have to do any last minute stuff. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys with, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, don't give me a pat. That's fine.